Big63 here. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to do something we haven't done for a little while, and that's an unboxing video. Hope you'll enjoy today's presentation. Stay tuned. As usual, I've got my faithful companion Chloe by my side, and a lot of you right about now might be wondering, well, what are we going to look at here? Is this some kind of crazy gun case? What do we got? What we got is a Gibson Les Paul Classic. This particular guitar is something I've wanted for a long time. I recently picked up a cheaper version known as the Tribute, and it made me want to have something that it's got a few more bells and whistles, prettier, and we'll see if it's a better sound. This is indeed this Les Paul. It's an iconic guitar. You can see right here just some of the features. This Gibson logo is a mother of pearl type inlay. And the finish is ebony. When I first got this, the fingerboard was kind of dried up. I had to put some oil on it, give it some treatment. And we'll talk about how she plays. But you can just look here, see the nickel hardware, and you can just look at this finish. It's just like a mirror. Beautiful, beautiful guitar. And we're going to play it today for you, talk about it a little bit. It's got some interesting features. We usually have tone and volume controls. This has what's called push pots. That means that simply by pulling out or pushing back in, you change the configuration of these pickups. As you can see, there's 4 of them. There's 2 back here. There's a couple more up by the neck. So you get a lot of different sounds out of this guitar. Most importantly, you can get that classic Les Paul sound that we all love so much, that many of us do. Came with this very nice case. Beautiful, beautiful setup. I'm very pleased. Everything I've seen on this guitar says quality. Let's take a closer look. So those of you that watch my videos for other subject matter know that I like doing comparisons. So we're going to do that here in a minute with another Les Paul that I own. This one's 2019. I picked it up from somebody who purchased it in the latter half of the year and did not play it, and I believe him. I just want you to pay attention to the detail on this. I can't find a flaw anywhere. I just can't. And as you can see, this thing's just like a mirror. I know a lot of guys are into those sunbursts and those kind of paint jobs, and you know, I'm always a guy that's a little bit different. If that's what everybody wants right now, then I probably don't want it. But I've always wanted the ebony version. And I got it. So you're talking about a mahogany neck. You're talking about a mahogany body. This is a maple top. It is weight relieved. I know for some guys right there, that's a problem. As you can see, I just think it looks beautiful with that nickel. Almost wish these Grovers were nickel as well for a match, but they do the trick. They're good kit. They're good tuners. I do have a set of the Grovers that are locking tuners on my Les Paul Tribute. I'll show you in a minute. Kind of prefer those, but these do a good job. But there you go, ebony through and through. You're just seeing all these reflections instead of the back of the guitar, because that's how flawless that finish is, which is awesome. I'm probably going to mess it up at some point because I don't baby stuff. I bought this to play, which is what I will do. So looking at these two side by side, you can see that the Classic definitely, it presents itself better. It's the bright, shiny new toy. So there's no question about it. It's beautiful, beautiful guitar. But I'd also say that this Tribute is in its own right a beautiful guitar. They both have maple tops. They both have mahogany bodies. They both are weight relieved. They both have rosewood fingerboards. And really the difference here, the biggest difference probably in terms of tone and all that's going to be these pickups. These are the P90s. I really like them. They are surprisingly clear, as well as have the ability to get that nice grungy, dirty, I almost call it rusty gate sound that you equate with a lot of rock. And then you see this assortment here on the Les Paul Classic. One on the left's a 2017. The one on the right is 2019. So they're both newer Gibsons, certainly. For guys that only want the old stuff, they probably look at this and don't get it. The guitar you see on the right cost twice as much to get new as the one on the left. So the real question is, do you get twice as much for your money? You know, I haven't played the one on the right as much as the one on the left. So I'm not going to make comments other than they both have beautiful tones. I don't think you lose anything with weight relief, although some guys think you do. They both have beautiful tones, but they're different guitars that have the same name, really. So if we take a look here, you know, you can see the mahogany, and this is just a natural finish. You can see it, and why it doesn't have binding, which this one certainly does, it's got a kind of a cool look just in terms of the difference between that maple top and the mahogany and the way it was stained. I really like that. I like that a lot. They both have those old school kind of gold control knobs that you see there, which I think is a classic look. The other thing I mentioned, the tuners, and these are Grovers as well, but these are the type that are locking. I'm not going to say that that's a deal breaker whether or not you have those or not. I think both these guitars are showing that they stay in tune pretty well. But I do like these Grovers. These Grovers as opposed to the other Grovers. So both made in the USA. I've had Epiphones, not Epiphone Les Pauls, but I've had Epiphones. I will say that I don't care for their construction in terms of the quality that you get with a good American-made Les Paul. So here's a couple of guitars. They're both called Les Paul. Like I said, the Tributes, you know, those are going for somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1,000 right now if you go get a new one. And you're closer to $2,000 with the Les Paul Classic. Okay, so let's play this bad boy a little bit. Just a couple things to point out. I do not have special recording equipment that's going to translate well into video, so I'm going to apologize in advance if the sound isn't perfect. But hopefully you'll be able to hear the quality of the tone, and you'll also be able to hear the differences on some of these pickups. So. That's just basically using both pickups middle position here, and I've done nothing in terms of the push pots or anything else. So I'm going to play the same thing now with using this push pot in the back, which is kind of just makes everything louder, for lack of a better term. Makes everything a little bit brighter. It's called a bypass. And then you have the ability to split coils. So again, I'm in the middle position, so both of these pickups are engaged. See what happens then if I engage the other one. The ability to split the coils, so instead of getting both of these at the same time, you might get one. So let's check out this last one. You know, if you want to see what it sounds like, just going all the way forward with this switch. Going all the way back to the rhythm setting. Down on the tone, more of a rich kind of sound. So you kind of get an idea what this thing sounds like. Now, if you want to turn this into the rocker, different story altogether. So here again, we're in the middle position. Everything is set here. The tones are set about at 7. Put it on the treble only. If we go ahead and just bypass everything. Pretty much sounds the same, but what about we start engaging these other ones? I like the middle position usually on most guitars I play. Try this one here now. you get different sounds out of this. So you're able to get a lot of different types of sound out of this. What happens when you combine a couple things? So this does a lot of down and dirty stuff, and you've got the ability, you know, to create some different sounds that are not typical for Les Pauls, and it's just because you've got some pickups that will do more than a typical humbucking pickup. Does that make it better than a regular Les Paul? And, you know, more versatile, but the main point is you can still get that classic Les Paul sound, so. Also kind of get, you know, that kind of Chet Atkinsy country sound out of these, which I think is pretty cool. So the guitar's got the versatility to go from something like that with a simple push of a button, a little bit of gain and distortion, to what that looks like with that tribute model with the P90s. One thing about this guitar, and this is something I'm kind of learning about Les Pauls because I've been a Strat guy most of my life. This can just be clear and beautiful, and you don't usually associate that with the Les Paul because the Les Paul is often used heavily distorted in rock music, and you know, most of the guys that are playing it are playing that kind of thing. But it can get some really pretty sounds, and you know, I was playing that blues riff earlier with a lot of distortion. Here's the same thing with the rhythm setting on. So it does a lot of things, but just in a basic configuration, you know, these pickups without fooling with the dials are made set up to kind of to imitate the P90s. However, you don't have the pickup covers on it, so it's going to be a little bit more lively, and just beautiful tone coming out of this thing. That's the main thing, just beautiful tone. With that, and a guitar that can do that and switch to this. both of those sounds out of the same guitar, you gotta like a Les Paul. And you know, is there a difference in construction and tonality between the Les Paul Custom and this one? I think there is. Better neck, probably not. The body, I think, is pretty much the same. So I think the difference is probably in the pickups. You've got, I believe, a different bridge, a little bit better hardware on here. So from that standpoint, I have to say I'm loving this this Gibson Les Paul Classic. Great guitar, great guitar. Somebody needs to practice more.